Indications are that the mysterious group of pirates will continue its offensive for the foreseeable future. Recapping our top story of the day, at 2 o'clock this afternoon, the city center was attacked by a group of unknown pirates who demanded they be given the keys to the caves and tunnels underneath our island. The mayor has refused to give in to their demands and is currently under siege alone in City Hall. Local police are helpless in front of the power of the pirates' weapons. It may be only a matter of time before City Hall is destroyed. Hopes are rapidly fading as... I've just been handed this update, viewers. It appears that the robots and machines being used to lay siege to the city have been destroyed by a single young boy. And now, that same boy has come through the gate and is heading towards City Hall. Wait! There he is! I can see him! He really is alone! Can this lone hero save the mayor?
1997's Mega Man Legends, also known as Rockman Dash here in Japan, was the start of a whole new generation of Mega Man games, made by essentially what was an all-star team of veterans at Capcom, with Inafune as producer, Yoshinori Kawano from the Breath of Fire series as the director, and Yuji Ishihara of Resident Evil, who worked on rendering the 3D polygon models. The game released during the Mega Man's 10th anniversary, and was an effort to appeal to a wider audience, focusing less on the action and more on being an adventure game with RPG elements. Capcom managed to successfully bring Mega Man into 3D with a world that players could explore, predating the popularity of the sandbox styles that many games now have today. Despite the drastic new direction, they still managed to capture the essence of our Blue Bomber. Legends is a game that focuses on building its characters and world with an adventure that was nothing short of legendary. Mega Man Legends is set in the distant future, thousands of years after the events of Mega Man ZX, putting it at the tail end of the Mega Man timeline. Somewhere along the line, the world was flooded and became an endless ocean, with only a few patches of land still remaining. Energy sources have also become limited, which led to a big boom of would-be treasure hunters, better known as diggers. These explorers use flying machines that resemble fish, which kind of reminds me of the shoot-'em-up Darius. With these, they go around and explore the world, excavating the ruins below, in search for refractor crystals, which are not only an energy resource, but also the world's form of currency, called Zeni. The main goal of every digger is to find the fabled Mother Lode, a legendary treasure said to have infinite power, and be able to solve all of the world's energy problems. Some diggers want to find it for the greater good, and some purely out of greed, as it's sure to make whoever finds it filthy rich. Our protagonist is yet another incarnation of the Blue Bomber, a young chap with a mysterious origin, Mega Man Volnut. He travels the world with his partner and spotter, Roll Casket, a young girl who's looking for her missing parents, who vanished when she was only 5 years old. As a spotter, she helps Mega Man as his navigator through the ancient ruins. She maps them out and also helps detect the presence of Reaverbots. The two also travel with Barrel Casket, Roll's grandfather, once known in his prime as Barrel the Invincible, due to his past exploits as a digger. Barrel one day found Mega Man Volnut as a baby and took him in, taking care of him as his own. Lastly, there's the monkey helper robot, Data, an intelligent little guy who speaks gibberish that only Mega Man can understand. Together on board their ship, the Flutter, they journey to find the Mother Lode, and to help Roll find her missing parents. Until one day, they run into some engine trouble and crash land on the island of Catalox.
I can't do much more by myself down here! Can somebody give me a hand?
Sorry, Gramps, but my hands are a little full right now!
Oh, I see it! Land ho!
Come on, hold together. Just a little bit more. Hold on! I'm taking her down!
Right!
Stranded, our diggers are left with no choice but to explore the island in hopes of getting the flutter back up and running. All the while, they find themselves uncovering the island's secrets and dealing with a band of misfit pirates, the Bond family, rival diggers and air pirates that aim to steal the treasure from other diggers. All of the characters in Mega Man Legends are brimming with charm. It's been a long time actually since I revisited the game. Too long, in fact, maybe even 20 years. But I can say without a shadow of a doubt, Legends still has some of the most charming characters I have ever seen in a video game to this day. I have a sneaking suspicion as well that the popular Despicable Me minions are nothing more than a bunch of less charming Servbot ripoffs.
If only we'd known there was someone like him here in the first place. We won't fail next time. We'll ambush him, concentrate our firepower on him. We won't cut him any slack just because we outnumber him. That kid's going down.
Just wait till you see, Teasel. I've got a new robot I've been wanting to build that'll do the trick. That'll teach him.
This time, we get rid of Blue Boy for sure, and get that treasure!
Ow! This coffee sure tastes good.
The voiceovers are actually really well done, and they suit the characters to a T, which is good because there's actually a whole lot of voice acting. Capcom stated it's 3 times more than any Capcom game to that day. The quality voice acting really helps breathe life into each and every scene. Not only that, but the dialogue is well written. Instead of bombarding you with generic exposition, the game handles introducing things to you in a nuanced way that I wish more games would. The controls are one aspect that are objectively a little outdated, but it's not something you can necessarily hold against the game, considering the game was in development before the dual analog controller even made its way into our hands. In fact, it came out only months before the release of Mega Man Legends that same year. So, being a 3D game, designed with the original PlayStation controller in mind, how bad you find the controls will depend on your level of tolerance. But for me personally, I found the controls work rather well. After taking a few minutes to get adjusted, I was able to bring my headspace back to good old 1997. You'll be using the D-pad to move Mega Man around the screen, and you can strafe left and right using the L1 and R1 bumpers, something that you're actually going to want to get accustomed to doing, as this is going to be your primary means of maneuvering during combat. There are some extra maneuvers that are a little less intuitive. Holding one of the bumpers and pressing the jump button will also allow you to perform a roll, giving you those precious invincibility frames, akin to classic Mega Man after he takes a hit. But I find it's much better to jump and run around your enemies, and didn't find myself rolling all too often. In fact, a lot of the times I would forget how to do it. Something more useful is holding R2, which will allow you to lock onto your nearest enemy, something that would have come in handy, but I embarrassingly wasn't doing that until much later in the game, until our monkey friend Data called me out on it. Mega Man Legends introduces a lot of RPG elements to the series, so who better to have as the director than Yoshinori from the Breath of Fire series. In Legends, you'll either be exploring the towns or going on digs in the ancient ruins. There is more than one way to progress through the game, so if you ever feel stuck, you can just go and do something else to earn some money. For instance, you can go talk to the townspeople and take on a number of side quests, or you can go in and explore some optional ruins. There's a number of mini games like Beast Hunter, Balloon Fantasy, and a race game, all of which if you get A rank in, you'll be able to unlock some special items for creating some super powerful weapons. You can use the parts you find during the side quests and your digs to upgrade your buster parts, armor, or create all sorts of attachments for Mega Man Volnut, like the sprain boots which will allow you to jump extremely high, or the rollerblades allowing you to scoot around town at the speed of sound. Mega Man Volnut has several different types of weapons and tools for the job. For instance, there's the grenade arm or the drill arm, which let you break through certain walls in the underground to unlock new paths. In addition to that, you can equip different buster parts that will allow you to change your attributes, like your range, rate of fire, and your power. One cool little reference is when you max out your power, your buster shots will become the classic lemon yellow. The best part is you can always go back and swap out parts to suit your playstyle or to optimize yourself for different scenarios. One other thing is Mega Man's shield, which reduces damage. How it works is when it's bright red, your shield is down. It'll recharge automatically unless you took some sort of massive hit, causing it to break. In which case, you'll have to go and get it repaired. After the initial adjustment to the controls, the combat is genuinely pretty fun. And the best part about the gameplay is the fun you'll have exploring the island. There's a nice sense of isolation when you're down venturing deep underground, and you'll find all sorts of interesting pathways that lead back to different areas around Catalogs. Like this one that brings you back to a manhole cover in the downtown area. There's a bit of a Metroidvania quality to the ruins. Everything is seemingly connected, so once you have the right tools, you'll be able to access all the pathways. Meanwhile, your main objective in the ruins is to find the large refractor crystals. But first you'll have to find 3 hidden keys to unlock the door to one. And along the way you'll be dealing with all sorts of Reaver bots, Indiana Jones style traps to avoid, puzzles to solve, and boss fights to tackle. There will be plenty of boss fights outside of these digs too. You'll be dealing with defending the island from the Bond family, and some of them can get pretty inventive. Like one memorable moment is when you have to defend the city in the beginning of the game and prevent as many buildings from being destroyed as possible. There's some really neat continuity here. After the fight, you'll be able to donate money and have the buildings that were destroyed in the battle rebuilt. And you'll see the construction actually in progress as you continue playing the game. With so much to do, despite the game not spelling everything out to you, the game does a good job conveying what your main objective is. But if for some reason you ever truly get lost, you can always ask your old pal Data what you should do next, and he'll clue you in.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Whoops.
Get out of here now! Next time, knock before opening the door.
Sorry, Roll.
Mega Man Legends really pushed the limits of the PlayStation hardware. Compared to other games, the draw distance is actually pretty impressive. The sound effects are crisp and on point too. From the atmosphere of the ruins, the beeps and boops of the eerie Reaver bots, or the sound of a can being kicked and bouncing off the wall. The sound designer Kawakami stated, "Everyone will want to kick the can if it makes a satisfying sound." I remember spending more than a healthy amount of time kicking this can around back in the day. That and riding around on top of cars. The development team at Capcom had basically 2 separate teams of designers to help create a nice separation between the more bright and hopeful world above and the more dark, cold, and wet world below. This also extended to the mecha designs. With a different designer on the job, the Reaver bots were given a more eerie look, albeit one that still retains a bit of cuteness, while the mecha designs in the world above have a much more unified design. The overall visuals might be a little rough around the edges. There are some minor nitpicks, like some weird warping that will occur, or some minor clipping, but on the other hand, it's nothing that will break the experience. I would actually argue that the visuals hold up rather well, and a lot of that has to do with not just the 90s anime-inspired art style, but the quality animation. Just look at how endearing something as simple as Mega Man's walk cycle is.
It's ready.
Okay, I'm all done here too. I'm going to fire up the engine, Mega Man. You grab that blue lever there.
Gotcha.
All in all, if you're like me and you haven't gone back and played Mega Man Legends for a while, I'm happy to report it holds up extremely well, and it's worth going back to. I know I, for one, will probably go back to it more often now. I usually replay most of the classic series at least once a year, if not more. But maybe I'll start throwing Legends into the mix as well. I gotta say, after replaying it, I actually think it's probably my second favorite Mega Man series. There's also many little references for fans of the classic series like myself, like this place called Wily's Boathouse, and the owner looks a lot like Dr. Wily.
There we go, all fixed. Whoops. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just started fixing the ship and...
You really love machines, don't you? I can tell just by looking at your face.
Well, your face. It's covered with grease.
It must be his great descendant, which is actually pretty miraculous when you think about all the catastrophic events that occur between the original Mega Man and Legends. You just can't keep the Wily family down. Anyways, if you're someone who has never played Mega Man Legends, even if you're not a fan of the traditional 2D platformers, and you just like an adventure-style RPG with a rich story and great characters, Mega Man Legends would deliver tenfold. Assuming you have some tolerance for controlling a 3D game without analog sticks. Unfortunately, there's no collection yet for modern consoles. I'm hoping we'll hear something for the Mega Man 35th anniversary this year, which also coincides with Legends' 25th. But if you still have a PS3 laying around, you can get a pretty cheap copy of the game off of the PlayStation Network, which is actually how I played it for this review, so that I could have some crisp looking footage instead of using my PlayStation 1. And I must say, even blown up on my modern TV, I found the game looks pretty nice thanks to the art direction. That said, Mega Man Legends is definitely a classic game that's worth playing today. So guys, if you like this review, please consider giving it a like, dropping a comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more content. Since this year is the 35th anniversary of Mega Man, I do plan to have quite a bit more Mega Man content this year, in addition to Metal Heroes. So you can expect quite a few more Mega Man game reviews this year, as well as some other things. Anyways, this is Den, signing off.
Oh, what happened this time? I can't take my eyes off you for a second, can I? Just you wait till we get back. You're in a lot of trouble. Oh, no. Who was that?